Cardio is king.
Yeah. That's
Number one, because it doesn't matter how strong you are, doesn't matter how, like, muscle endurance is good, it's basically a different type of cardio,
Yes.
but if you get tired, you're done.
Yeah.
Like, all of the knowledge I have in fighting now, like, I've been doing it for 20 years or 15, 17, whatever, long time. I know, not everything, but I know a lot about fighting, a lot. I'll gas in 2 minutes now, at my stage right now, and I'm useless. I'm literally useless. So if you get tired, you're useless. So I beat a lot of guys that were more athletic than me, that were stronger than me, that were faster than me. Like, I beat a lot of them because my cardio was... Lee Dosky used to say, who's one of the guys I trained with, a black belt that I used to train with, he used to say, you're no good at fighting, Luke. You just never get tired. They get tired of punching you in the head. They literally give up and you knock them out. That's literally what he said word for word. As a joke, because he was like a funny guy. But it was kind of true. Like, I used to beat these people because I just was relentless and kept coming. They take me down 10 times, I get up 10 times and batter them. Like, I would never stop, and they would just be like, oh, and they'd go away. Yeah. And I was like, had God-given, like, Homer Simpson head. Like, I could get hit,
I love great episode.
Yeah. I could get battered, and I would just keep coming. And there's a fight I had in Italy that really demonstrates that. It was a 5-round fight for a title. This is after the UFC. Yeah. And 3 rounds of it, I got absolutely battered, and I mean, like, like probably 2 10-8 rounds, and it was my first fight out of the UFC. And John Maguire, one of my corner guys, he literally said to me, he goes, "Why? Round 3 to 4, I've been battered for 3 rounds." And he walks in the cage, looks at me, goes, "Why are you fighting like a cunt?" Well, I'll never forget. I was like, "Bro," he's like, you're fighting like a cunt. Take this guy down and finish the fight." Because I was like, whatever. I can't even remember. I was negative the whole time. I just couldn't switch on. 4th round, come out, I take him down, submit him in like under a minute. So if I'd have just done what John had told me to do from the beginning of the fight, I would have won the fight with no marks, and it would have been sick. But anyway, cardio for 100% is the most important thing, because nothing else works without it. Yeah.
It's kind of like if you've got infinite cardio, you got super good cardio, it's like you can just keep going, as in, like, all skill kind of I'm not saying skill doesn't matter, but it kind of becomes second, because, like you're saying, you just keep going.
But it depends on the level that you're competing at. But if you're going to have your first fight or your second fight, my number one advice for guys getting into fight sports is cardio. Okay. Because your first and second fight, your third fight, your fourth fight, your fifth fight, like you said, they're frightening. You don't understand how much tension and fear can do to your cardio. You get so tired so fast.
Yeah, because your adrenaline is just
all over the place. Yeah. You're all over the place, and then getting hit. Like, I think, again, the reason I had a Homer Simpson head was because my cardio was off the chain. Yeah. I mean, I probably still do, but at the time I had a resting heart rate of like 36, 37 beats per minute, waking up, which is low. Yeah. And the UFC doctors used to say, I don't know how this is a compliment, by the way, but they used to say I had the heart of a cow.
Nice.
Yeah. And he was like, no, it's a compliment, trust me. Cows have big hearts. I was like, okay, cool. But I had amazing cardio, and that's my advice for anyone getting into fighting. But then as the level increases, because then you've got to remember that it's a 15-minute fight. So it's how much output you can do in 15 minutes, which is still a cardio thing, but then it comes down to muscle endurance and it comes down to strength. And that's where later on in my career I struggled, because I switched weight classes from middleweight, which is 84 kilos. I was the tallest middleweight in the world. And then I went to 93 kilos. And I say, like, 93 kilos, 84 to 93 kilos is the biggest weight shift in martial arts, because the guys at 84 kilos and the guys at 93 kilos are the same height. Yeah. So it's just muscle density, bone density, and just pure power. So they're like, this is how I used to describe it, it's like 2 different species. Because, okay, if you're fighting at featherweight, 66 kilos, and you're fighting at lightweight, 70 kilos, it's a 4 kilo weight difference. But that 4 kilo weight difference is probably 2 inches in height. And just...
it's just like general human. It's just longer humans, so that's why you're heavier,
Yeah, so it's not quite the same. But for my weight class difference, the middleweight to light heavyweight, it's just they're just different. So when I used to train with a lot of light heavyweights. A guy called Phil Davis. It'd just be like a different species. Like, how am I going to compete with this guy? He just batter me. Alexander Gustafsson, different species. It's different. He'd grab your wrist and you just be like,
you're like a child.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. Normally I can get this off. But it's impossible. So that for me is the biggest difference. But then when I switched, because I was so cardio focused, I couldn't win. I couldn't compete at that elite level at light heavyweight because I wasn't powerful enough.
Yeah.
So, and I couldn't, this is the conundrum, I literally couldn't become powerful enough as a middleweight because I had to make the weight class. So my advice, like if I knew now, like again, if I go back 17 years, I would have started as a light heavyweight.
Yeah.
One, because they're worse in general. As you go up the weight classes, the skill level goes down. Yes, you've got the power difference, but that's it. But like a bantamweight or a featherweight knows more about martial arts than a light heavyweight because they have to get put in more situations and whatever. So I would have competed as a light heavyweight because then I would have grown into my body more. It would have been much healthier. I would have been much stronger, much physically. I would have had less injuries, less hydration to the brain and all that sort of stuff from cutting weight and everything.